You know the feeling. The moment right before your life changes. The air shifts, your breath slows. Somewhere in your chest, something that has slept for years sits up and opens its eyes. That is the sound of decision, not the half decision you make on a Sunday night and break by Tuesday. I'm talking about the kind of decision that ends an era, the decision that sets fire to the bridge behind you so thoroughly that your old excuses have no road back to you. At first, it will scare you. It's supposed to. Every great story begins with a man or woman who stands where the familiar path ends and the unknown begins and chooses the unknown. People will tell you to be reasonable, but every masterpiece ever made mocked the word reasonable until reason caught up. There is a line inside you that only you can cross. On one side is the life you are living. On the other side is the life that has been calling you since you were a child. The distance between those two lives is not time, not money, not luck. The distance is a decision final, uncompromising, non-refundable. Picture it. A harbor at dawn, fog folded over the water like a sleeping animal. Your old ship, comfortable, familiar, filled with every habit you've ever known, rocks beside the pier. Behind you, the city of your past yawns awake. In front of you, the ocean of your future waits without a map. And in your hand, a single match. The match is your standard, your oath, your refusal to live the same story twice. When you strike it, you do not destroy your options. You create them. Because most options are illusions, exits that lead back to the same room. The mind loves those exits. The spirit does not. The spirit wants the open sea. And the second the bridge burns, something remarkable happens. Your mind, which spent years negotiating with fear, begins negotiating with possibility. The horizon becomes your partner. The clock becomes your ally. Your body stands taller because it knows the way back is gone, and the only direction left is forward. Mindset is not a mood, it's an engine. And right now you are upgrading from a reluctant engine to a relentless one. The difference is not horsepower, it's direction. A reluctant engine pulls toward comfort. A relentless engine pulls toward purpose. Which one is driving you? A reluctant engine needs applause to move. A relentless engine creates its own momentum with standards and vows. The timid mind says, "Prove to me it will work, then I'll begin." The disciplined mind says, "I'll begin until it works." That is the first law of transformation. Act like a cause, not an effect. When you live as an effect, you wait for weather headlines, invitations. When you live as a cause, you generate weather. You write headlines. You make the invitation unnecessary because your presence is the invitation. Your standards become the storm front that reorganizes the landscape. Belief is not a feeling that magically appears. Belief is a structure you build and move into. Brick by brick. Word by word. Choice by choice. The blueprint is simple. Decide who you are, speak like it, act like it, and stop negotiating with doubt. Doubt will visit your house every morning. Offer it no chair. It says, "Be realistic." You answer, "Reality is a canvas, and I carry the paint." Think of Thomas Edison in a long humming workshop where night collapsed into day, experiment after experiment, failure after failure, each one a rung on a ladder that only he could see. He wasn't waiting for belief to arrive. He used his hands to build it. He manufactured faith by welding action to vision until the world had no choice but to name the result invention. Do you understand? Belief grows from the seeds you plant in the soil of your routine. It is watered by repetition. It is hardened by difficult choices. It becomes unbreakable when it survives your worst day without bending. Clarity is the sword that separates the essential from the noise. If your life feels heavy, it is not because your destiny is heavy. It's because you're carrying things that do not belong to you. Comparisons that never end. Agreements you didn't sign, opinions from people who don't buy your groceries and won't pay your price. Put them down. Andrew Carnegie did not build a steel empire by answering every critic, attending every argument, or chasing every opportunity that knocked. He built by choosing. He built by sharpening a single aim until it cut through doubt. What is your single aim? Say it out loud. Write it until the ink learns your hand. Clarity is not found, it is forged. If you cannot state what you're building in a sentence, you are not building, you are wandering. Wandering wastes years. Clarity compresses years into months. Vision is not a daydream, it's a command. Walt Disney sketched a kingdom on paper before he carved it into earth steel and memory. He didn't ask the world for permission to imagine. The world asked him for tickets to enter what he imagined. That is the sequence: imagine with authority, build with urgency, refine with humility. Your vision should be a place your mind visits so often that your body starts acting like it lives there already. Walk like your future is watching you. Speak to others as if they are characters in the story you are writing with your choices. When your vision matures, it changes how you stand in rooms. You stop asking whether you belong. You start asking whether the room belongs in your future. And if it doesn't, you thank it and you keep moving. Purpose is the bone deep why that outlives your moods. Moods are weather. Purpose is climate. Moods shift by the hour. Purpose endures by the decade. Abraham Lincoln lived with a purpose that could not be evicted by chaos. He carried a nation's fracture and still spoke with a gravity that taught the world what leadership sounds like: under pressure, not noise, not rage, but resolve. Let your purpose choose your battles. You don't have time to fight every fight or correct every misunderstanding. The mission is too large to stop for small fires. When your purpose becomes a vow, distractions lose their teeth. People feel it on you: the quiet intensity, the refusal to waste breath, the way your eyes do not chase approval because they are locked on a horizon that others cannot see yet. Discipline is how purpose pays rent. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It shields your highest future from your lowest impulses. Every empire, internal or external, was built by schedules, not feelings. Henry Ford turned tinkering into systems and systems into an engine that changed the world. The assembly line was discipline manifested: efficient, relentless, indifferent to excuses. You need your own assembly line, not for cars, but for habits. Wake, move, study, build, review, rest again and again, until your day becomes a machine that produces progress no matter how you feel. On the days your emotion rebels, your system proceeds. That's the point. A disciplined life removes permission from moods and gives it to standards. Promise yourself this: I don't skip the work, I don't break the vow, I don't negotiate with the voice that wants the pillow more than the future. Action is the cure for almost everything that paralyzes you. You think you need more confidence to act. The truth is, you need more action to create confidence. A small step taken now is louder than a perfect plan postponed. The average person calculates until the moment passes, then tells a story about why the moment didn't matter. Builders act while the average person narrates. Take the call, send the email, finish the page, record the video, ship the prototype, ask for the sale. Not because these steps are glamorous, because they compound. There is a law operating beneath your life: momentum favors the one who begins. Start poorly if you must, but start. Starting is a ceremony. It signals to your mind that you intend to be a cause in the world, not a spectator. Gratitude is not a polite thank you. It is strategic. It anchors your mind to power when circumstances vibrate with uncertainty. Gratitude does not deny the storm. It reminds you you're the sailor. It takes inventory of the resources that are present: breath in your lungs, strength in your legs, lessons in your scars, and converts them into fuel. Gratitude sharpens your vision by removing the fog of entitlement. It says, I am not owed, I am entrusted. When you live entrusted, you steward time differently. You treat opportunities as sacred, you treat people as partners, and you treat setbacks as teachers. Gratitude and ambition are not enemies. Gratitude keeps ambition honest. It keeps you building for the right reasons: service, excellence, impact, while ambition keeps gratitude from turning into passivity. Hold both, or you will lose both. Adaptability is how you remain lethal when the map changes. The mission never changes, the route does. Edison didn't fail 10,000 times. He adapted 10,000 ways. The plan that got you here will not get you there, because there is a terrain with different gravity. Learn to pivot without panic. When a door closes, assume the hallway is longer than you thought. When a method stalls, assume your creativity is underused, not your destiny canceled. Adaptability keeps your identity anchored and your tactics flexible. It lets you change your shoes without changing your stride. You don't cling to an old version of you to honor your past. You honor your past by evolving into the version it was preparing you to become. Remember, excellence is iterative. You sand, you shape, you test, you refine. The statue emerges by removing what doesn't belong. So does the life. Resilience is the quiet power to stand back up so consistently that the ground learns your name. Life will not apologize for hitting hard. It will test your hunger, your patience, your principles. It will ask questions with its knuckles. Do you mean it? Will you continue? Is your vow stronger than your mood? The resilient answer is movement, not noise movement. When you are knocked flat, get to your knees. From your knees, get to your feet. From your feet, move one step. Repeat until history calls it a comeback. The courageous don't always feel courageous. They act like it until their heart catches up. Let the bruise be your credential. Let the scar be your diploma. Resilience doesn't ask for lighter loads. It builds a stronger back. The day you stop fearing difficulty is the day difficulty stops recognizing you as prey. Learning is the permanent strategy of champions. A stagnant mind cannot carry a dynamic destiny. You must study the craft and the self. You must read pages and people. You must review your days like an engineer tearing down an engine to rebuild it cleaner and stronger. Charles Schwab leveled up not just because he worked hard, but because he learned fast about process, about people, about pressure. He refined judgment until it could cut decisions cleanly. Your future requires that kind of judgment. Seek mentors who don't flatter you, but sharpen you. Seek books that don't comfort you, but confront you. Seek rooms where you are not the smartest person, and thank the discomfort for the education it brings. Learning humbles the ego so growth can enter. It keeps you dangerous in a world where most people get comfortable after their first promotion and then spend the next 20 years defending the hill they never leave. Environment is the multiplier that most underestimate. A single weak voice in your circle can dilute a vision you spent years distilling. Guard your gate. Invite builders, not blamers. Invite those who speak with clarity, move with purpose, and shine a light on your blind spots without dimming your fire. Ford didn't assemble greatness by accident. He assembled people who could hold the standard under pressure. You must do the same. Fire is contagious. So is mediocrity. If you want your standards to survive the winter, plant them in a forest of iron mines. And if you cannot find that forest, plant the first trees. Become the person who makes discipline look like freedom and excellence feel like home. When you walk, let your presence be a reminder that the mission is alive. Identity is the root system under every visible achievement. You don't get what you want, you get what you are willing to become. Say the words out loud until your nervous system accepts them. I am disciplined. I am focused. I do not fold. I keep my word. I finish what I start. You are not lying to yourself when you say this before it is obvious. You are training yourself to recognize your own voice under pressure. The mind obeys what it hears most often. If you let the world narrate you, you will become whatever story is loudest near you. Take the microphone back. Narrate your own becoming. Do it daily. Do it especially when nothing seems to change, because that is when the roots are thickening underground. Standards are the invisible architecture of your life. They decide whether you get out of bed or negotiate with the alarm. They decide whether you eat like a champion or a child. They decide whether you train your mind as carefully as you train your feet. Most people set goals without setting standards. That is why they fail. Goals are destinations. Standards are the gate you use to reach them. Raise your standards and your goals will become inevitable. Keep your standards low and your goals will remain sentimental. Think of a standard as a promise to your future self that your present self has to keep. Keep enough promises and your confidence becomes structural. Break enough and your doubt does. Time is the currency of vision and your calendar reveals your loyalty. Do not say you are serious and then donate your hours to every distraction that knocks. Schedule your greatness. Put the non-negotiables in ink, movement, creation, study, connection. Rest. Build buffers around them. When emergencies come, and they will handle them without letting them rewrite your identity. Treat your calendar as a sacred document because it documents what you worship. Worship convenience, and you will become its servant. Worship purpose, and convenience will adapt. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is command of direction. You can carry fear in the passenger seat if you refuse to hand it the wheel. Fear is loudest right before a threshold. That's how you know you're near something important. When you hear it, smile. Say I must be close, then move. Courage is a muscle grown through repetitions, difficult conversations, bold asks, public stakes, higher standards. Stack small acts of courage daily until your mind begins to expect them. Eventually, the extraordinary will feel normal, and the old normal will feel impossible. Execution is the bridge between your vision and your legacy. It is not glamorous. It is less lightning strike, more hammer, on anvil hour after hour until the blade holds an edge. Builders don't chase motivation. They cultivate discipline and turn it into motion. Today's motion, not tomorrow's promise. If you can give me 90 minutes of clean focus work, no tab hopping, no phone every day for 90 days, you will not recognize your life. The compounding is violent. It is not that one session changes everything. It is that repeated precision breaks doors that brute force never could. Service is the quiet multiplier under sustainable success. When you aim your work at people's real problems, you stop chasing vanity metrics and start building real value. Empires risen on ego collapse. Empires risen on service endure. Ask who gets stronger when I do this well. Let the answer shape your strategy. The market rewards those who remove friction, who deliver more than they take, who operate with integrity when no one is watching. This is not sentimentality, it's the economics of trust. Recovery is not weakness, it is wisdom. You are not a machine, you are a system. Systems need cycles, force and rest, fire and water, sun and shade. Overwork is not a badge, it is a leak. Protect your sleep like it's equity. Protect your focus like it's a rare resource, because it is. Build rituals that empty stress and replenish energy. Walks that reset your thinking, journals that refine your discernment, silence that returns you to yourself. When you rest well, your work sharpens. When you neglect rest, your decisions dull. Now come back to the harbor in your mind. The fog is lifted. The match is struck. The bridge behind you crackles and curls into flame. You are not destroying your past. You are honoring it by refusing to repeat it. The fire rises and something in you rises with it. A power that comes from finality. No more half measures. No more half truths to keep you comfortable. You chose the ocean. You chose the mission. There is a stillness in that choice, like the silence before an orchestra plays the poised breath before the sprinter explodes from the blocks. In that stillness, you can hear your future calling your name with a voice that sounds suspiciously like your own. Step to the edge of the pier. The planks groan. The heat warms your back. This is the last time you will feel the timbers of this old life under your feet. Look down at your hands. They are the same hands you have always had, but they look different now because they carry a vow. The vow is simple. I will move like my outcome is certain. Not because it's guaranteed, but because certainty makes me lethal. I will speak like a leader even before anyone follows. I will build like a founder even when I am the only employee. I will practice excellence when no eyes are on me, so that when they arrive, I don't have to become excellent, I only have to reveal it. You take the first step onto your boat. The deck answers with a dull thud. Everything you need is already aboard your mind. Your standards, your scars, your hunger, your plan, your willingness to learn. If something is missing, you will build it on the way. That is the nature of voyages. No one leaves the shore ready, they leave willing. Willingness is the passport. Action is the visa stamped daily. You cast off the line. The wake unfurls like a new calendar. The city behind you flickers with 1,000 familiar lights that once held your attention, like gravity. Now they look small. Not because they changed, but because you did. As the shoreline recedes, watch how quickly your mind begins to organize around the new reality. Goals sharpen, options simplify. The voice that once told you to wait falls quiet because you gave it no chair. In its place, a quieter, stronger voice speaks forward. That single word is your ceremony. Forward when you are inspired. Forward when you are tired. Forward when you are praised. Forward when you are ignored. Forward when you are right. Forward when you are wrong but wiser. Forward when the sea is calm. Forward when the waves climb the hull and test your courage. Forward. Builders are not faster than others. They are more consistent. Storm clouds gather. Good. Let them. You are not building a life that needs perfect weather. You are becoming the kind of person who carries their weather with them. The first gust knocks your hat, tie it down. The second tips your balance. adjust your stance. You remember Edison's relentless iterations, Ford's unforgiving systems, Lincoln's fierce resolve, Carnegie's focused aim, Disney's sovereign imagination, and you smile. Not because you want to be them, but because the same raw material that animated them is in you: choice, hunger, discipline, humility, endurance. History is not a museum, it's a mirror. When you look into it, you don't see idols, you see instructions. The storm breaks. You are soaked, not shattered. The sky clears as if your will convinced it. Ahead, a dark shape emerges, an island that didn't exist on anyone's map but yours. That's the truth about new futures. They rarely appear on other people's charts. You arrive because you dared to draw them. You drop anchor. You step onto sand that no one in your family has touched. The first footprint is heavy with meaning. It says the lineage changes here. The story changes here. The next generation will not inherit my excuses. They will inherit my example. You kneel and touch the ground. Gratitude bruises your knees and strengthens your back at the same time. You whisper, thank you for the failures that hardened you, for the mentors who sharpened you, for the enemies who unknowingly trained your resilience, for the quiet mornings that looked like nothing but added up to everything. You begin building, not someday, not when things slow down, not after you feel ready. Now, stakes in the earth, routines in the day, systems in the work, standards in the culture. You carve a workshop from jungle. You wire the lights of habit. You install windows of perspective that open to wider horizons. You teach your hands to deliver. You teach your voice to direct. You teach your heart to stay open enough to serve and hard enough to endure. The village grows, people drawn to heat, to clarity, to integrity. Some come to watch. They leave inspired or exposed. Some come to build. They stay and multiply your fire. When the sun drops into the ocean and the newborn city glows, take a slow walk through the streets you mapped in faith. Notice how ordinary it feels. Not because it isn't extraordinary, but because you have become the kind of person for whom excellence is normal. That is the secret the world never tells you. Greatness feels like responsibility more than celebration. You lock the door on a finished day with a soft click of satisfaction. Not pride satisfaction. Pride stands on a podium. Satisfaction sweeps the floor and prepares to open again tomorrow at dawn. Now hear me. This is not a story about luck. It is a story about laws. The law of decision, the law of discipline, the law of compounding, the law of adaptation, the law of service, the law of environment, the law of identity, the law of repetition, the law of resilience. You are under no obligation to obey them. But if you do, they will obey you back with results that look like magic to people who didn't see the daily vows. Decide fully, move daily, review honestly, refine ruthlessly, rest wisely, serve humbly, repeat indefinitely. That is the formula buried in plain sight. One more walk to the shore. The charred silhouette of the old bridge is still visible in the distance, black ribs against the silver sky. It does not make you sad. It makes you safe. There is no way back. The knowledge tastes like freedom. The waves lay their rhythm against the beach, and you can hear your future between them, steady as a drum. In that sound, make a fresh vow from this moment forward. I will live as a cause, not an effect. I will treat every hour like seed. I will act without permission. I will surround myself with iron minds. I will do more than I'm paid to do until I am paid for more than I do. I will speak to myself like a leader. I will walk like the outcome is certain. I will become the kind of person who cannot go back because there is nothing to go back to. This is where your new life begins, not with applause, not with fireworks, but with a decision you will defend sunrise after sunrise. The world will test it. Good. Let it. Your decision is stronger than their doubt. Your discipline is louder than their opinions. Your consistency makes their timing irrelevant. You will not always feel like a storm. You won't need to. You will be a tide steady, unstoppable, carving canyons from stone one patient wave at a time. The match is long burned out. The bridge is gone. The ship is yours. The ocean is open. The wind leans its weight into your sails like an ally, like a promise. And you calm, clear, certain step to the helm and smile because you finally understand the truth. You were never waiting on a path. The path was waiting on a decision, You made it. Now move. Burn the bridge and become unstoppable.